Let's have one more big hand for All City Jazz under the direction of Rob Tapper. Thank you, All City. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for coming this afternoon. There's plenty of food left and plenty of drinks, so feel free to have at it for the next hour or so while we go through this presentation. Before we begin, well, first of all, I'm Tom Benson, the Executive Director of Arts Missoula at the moment. And thank you all for coming. It's great to see you all again. It's great to see you all in person in one of these events. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge that the Missoula and the Bitterroot Valleys, where we now reside, are the original homelands of the Salish and Pend Oreille Kalispel people who inhabited this land since time immemorial. This area was also frequented by other tribes, including the Kootenai, Blackfeet, Shoshone, Crow, and Kiowa. We honor the original stewards of this land and their descendants, many of whom continue to live, work, teach, create, and learn in this community. We are committed to showing gratitude for the land and its indigenous peoples by respecting and remembering this in our thoughts and actions. I also want to thank the Doubletree for this great venue, specifically Annie Buckma and Dean Spiker and the whole staff and crew. Thank you, Doubletree. Thanks to our sponsors for this event, and that includes First Security Bank, the Good Food Store, Blackfoot Communications, the Montana Museum of Art and Culture, and Bitterroot Flower Shop, who donated all the flowers in front of you. And they are also donating the flowers to anyone who wishes to take them home afterwards. So you'll have to fight over that at your own table. The vases, however, are not being donated. So just... We have bags. We have bags. Melissa's in charge of that. Thanks also to Jonathan Qualbin, our photographer for this evening. Thank you, Jonathan. And thanks to MCAT, who is filming this. And it will be presented on MCAT at a future date. And I believe we have a couple of city council representatives with us tonight. Mirtha Becerra and Gwen Jones, I think, are here. So welcome to you two. And I'd like to acknowledge the Arts Missoula Board of Directors right now. That includes John Kalsbeek, our president. Melissa Blunt, who's the past president and the chair of this awards committee. And I'll read the rest of the names, and then you can give a big round afterward. It's Miranda Ming, Scott Woodall, Jack Sturgis, Lori Baevsky, Shannon Flanagan, Monty Grisey, Mia Hannock, Jake Krylik, Heidi Sterrett, and April Whirl. Thank you to the Arts Missoula Board of Directors. And also our staff is here tonight. Sienna Solberg, who's the director of Spark Arts Ignite Learning. Udo Fluke, who's the director of Arts Missoula Global. Magda Cheney, who's the development director of Arts Missoula. And Brianne Howerton, who's unfortunately ill tonight, but she's our office manager and public art coordinator. They are a great staff. You know, a lot of people say they have the greatest staff in the world, but we really do have the greatest staff in the world at Arts Missoula. And I also want to welcome incoming Executive Director Heather Adams. Today was Heather's first day on the job, so she's doing a great job so far. Thank you. So as I said, it's nice to see you all again. And this is the time when I give everyone a report on what we've been doing this year. Our mission, as it says up there on the screen, involves education, advocacy, and community. That works. So in terms of education, we have two major initiatives that are housed at Arts Missoula. First is Spark Arts Ignite Learning, now in its 9th year in Missoula. Arts Missoula, yeah. Arts Missoula is the administrative home of Spark, which is a collective impact initiative and a partner of the Kennedy Center's Any Given Child initiative, ensuring equity and access in K-8 art education. It reaches every elementary and middle school student at Missoula County Public Schools. That is 5,314 students, 20 teaching artists, 75 residencies in 93 classrooms, 1,100 hours in the classroom, and every K-8 student has an art experience, such as going to the symphony, the art museum, a film festival, that sort of thing. Every K-8 student. So that's Spark Arts Ignite Learning. Great job. Arts Missoula Global just completed its 4th year, offering a unique global and cultural competence education program, adding an outside perspective to the K-12 social studies curriculum. Director Udo Fluke taught 300 seminars by himself in 10 schools this year. It is a growing program with 7 MCPS schools, plus Target Range, Lolo, and DeSmet schools were added this year. And here's an interesting tidbit. Meanwhile, the Department of Education at the Ministry of Culture in the country of Germany has invited Udo Fluke to fly to Germany to show them what he does in our schools here in Missoula. Let that sink in for a minute. Later this month, he'll be flying to Frankfurt for this presentation. So our director has been invited by the education department of a different country to tell what he's doing in Missoula. That is a wonderful thing. Suffice it to say, both Spark and Arts Missoula Global have recovered well from the pandemic. In advocacy, we are now embarking on a year-long project with Americans for the Arts called Arts and Economic Prosperity. Every 5 years, we collect information from audiences at nonprofit events as part of the massive study on economic impact of the arts. There are over 380 communities in all 50 states working on this. Our participation is the reason they can say all 50 states, because there's no other community in Montana except Missoula doing this. But it's this national study. There we go. We've been also part of all 5 previous studies, and the studies show how important the arts are to our local economy, specifically showing the strength of Missoula's arts sector compared to other similar-sized communities. And it's something like 3 times that of the average city our size. And you can participate right now, because this is an arts event. And in your program, there's a QR code. You can zap your phone over the QR code and pull up a survey and fill it out right now and hit submit, and it goes to Americans for the Arts. Or there's paper surveys on the table if you're like me and challenged by these sorts of things. But this is an arts event. We'd love it if some of you could fill these out. It takes about 5 or 10 minutes. The third arm of Arts Missoula is community. As we all know, community events just didn't really happen in much of 2020 and 2021. So it's good to see the return of our events such as German Fest and First Night. In addition, Udo Fluke hosts a regular podcast called International Voices, and we've partnered with the Roxy Theater to present Worldview Film Series, a free international film and discussion shown monthly in the fall and spring seasons. And coming this summer, I believe, is the new BIPOC Artist Speaker Series organized by board member April Worrell. That's all going on in the community end of things. Looking at the greater Missoula community, the downtown certainly looks different than it did before the pandemic. Continued construction of hotels and restaurants, a new look for Caras Park, which hosted its first out to lunch today, I believe, in the new Caras Park. If you haven't seen it, it really looks gorgeous. Also, the Bear Tracks Bridge is nearing completion, And of course, there's the Missoula Public Library, which is kind of a museum in and of itself. And it was the headquarters of First Night Missoula this year, and it's a great place to have an event. If you've driven past the Adams Center recently, you know what's going on in the parking lot. The new Montana Museum of Art and Culture is going up. And just last week, City Council approved a master plan for a new community center as an extension of Currents. It's just starting, and they're beginning the master planning session. So things are moving quite along in downtown Missoula and outside of downtown. In the Sister Cities update, the University of Montana Chamber Chorale is going on a European tour in a couple of weeks. And they're there right now. In a couple of weeks, they will be in our sister city of Neckargemund. They will be doing a performance in Neckargemund, and of course, our director of Arts Missoula Global, Udo, will be there as well because he will just have done his presentation in Frankfurt. This year also marks the 40th anniversary of the Sister City partnership with Palmerston North, and to commemorate this, there will be a 4-person delegation visit from there this November, including the mayor, Mayor Grant Smith, and his wife will be coming to Missoula in November. In terms of our partnerships, we have incubator programs, and those are small organizations that need a 501c3 umbrella, and they use Arts Missoula's for that. The Montana Book Festival, the Montana Area Music Association, MAMA, and All City Jazz, which you just heard. They're all fiscally sponsored by Arts Missoula to maintain their strength while they transition to a 501c3 organization. And in fact, MAMA just completed that last week, and they are a 501c3 right now. Yeah, we go. We also have a strong partnership with the Public Art Committee of the City of Missoula, and with all the construction going on throughout the town, that's a great opportunity for public art, which will be in compliance with the downtown master plan. New to this year is the Arts Missoula Patron Fund, which supports local artists. This fund was established for the express purpose of providing large grants to local artists so they can continue to live here and make a positive impact on our community through their talent and creativity. So rather than tell you any more about it, I'm going to show you a short video of this year's grant recipients, who are musician Callie Morris, ceramicist Andrew Avakian, and mixed media artist Monica Gillis Brings Yellow. And Monica's with us tonight if you'd like to chat with her afterwards.
Hi, I'm Callie Morris, and I'm a musician located in Missoula, Montana. And here's a quick snippet of my work. I wanna walk the moon in pouring rain. I wanna hold your hand under water. Feel like a dragon breathing fire, holding on to this eternal thing. Copacetic thoughts we create to keep ourselves turned on. Always happy, never alone. The grass is always green. I received this grant so that I could get a Nord Stage 3 keyboard, which has always been a dream of mine, to be able to play one regularly and practice on one. And I feel this will help the Missoula community because not only do I plan to record and release new music with the Nord, but I also want to share the keyboard with friends and have them come over and play it and check it out and use it as a tool for education. Me and my cats, thank you for bringing music into the home and the Missoula community.
Hi, I'm Andrew Wade. I work out of my studio in the Brunswick building in downtown Missoula. I create unique ceramic vessels in dialogue with architecture, historical vessels, and modern painting. I distill these ideas into my pottery so users can connect with them on a daily basis. With the funds from Montana Patron Fund Grant, I'll be able to replace my old small kiln with a newer, larger, updated version. I believe engaging with the arts is an important part of life. The Patron Fund Grant will allow me to make my artwork more efficiently. It will also allow me to continue to connect with Missoula's art scene and enhance the life with former Missoulians.
Hello, my name is Monica Gillis Springs Yellow, and I am one of the recipients of the Arts Missoula Grant. I am a painter and I am a fluid artist, and I use my art as a way to tell a visual history from an indigenous perspective. And I primarily focus on including portraits of Native American Montanans, and I've got a couple paintings back here. For some time, I've been looking into exploring some different techniques to incorporate into my style, as well as experimenting with some other styles and some other techniques, and also expanding the size of my paintings. But due to being a fluid artist that uses pretty non-traditional methods and also non-traditional materials, things like resin and inks and a lot of additives to make the paint behave in ways that it doesn't normally behave, I've been pretty constrained due to making art in my kitchen and sometimes in my hallway, which is even more cramped than my kitchen. And so when I saw that a grant was coming up, I decided to apply because I would like to use the funds from the grant to get more supplies, take some classes, and also secure a studio space so that I can start expanding my art practice and pushing the boundaries of myself as a painter. So I'm hoping the combination of all these things will enrich my paintings and then also provide me the space and the opportunity to make some pretty cool public art for Missoula to see and to continue with the storytelling.
All right. So those are our Patron Fund Grant Award winners this year. If what you saw in that video resonates with you, if you wish to ensure that our young artists continue to live and create and contribute right here in Missoula through the Patron Fund, or if anything else that you have heard so far related to our mission of furthering art and culture through education, advocacy, and community resonates, please don't hesitate to use the envelopes on your table. As is in the case with all nonprofits, we could not exist without the generosity of our constituents, and you are our constituents. So thank you very much. If you would like to make a donation and you would like to make it to a specific program, you can just write it on the envelope, and Magda Cheney will be gathering all that information at the end of tonight. So thank you. And now we're going to shift gears to the main reason for tonight, are our awards. This tradition of honoring individuals and businesses for their contribution to the arts dates back to 1999, when this organization, then called the Missoula Cultural Council, awarded a single Cultural Achievement Award as a way to honor individuals whose outstanding work in the arts and humanities have made significant contributions to this community's quality of life. Over the years, we have broadened this program to include individual artists, educators, and businesses. The list of previous winners is on the back of your program. The nominations are open to the public, and awardees are chosen by a vote of the Arts Missoula Board of Directors. In the spring of 2020, we had an award ceremony set to go, and then we all know what happened. So instead, we produced videos of all the winners that year, but we never got to celebrate them in person. So what we'd like to do now is honor those recipients today by bringing them up here now and presenting them with the plaques that we made back in April of 2020, and it's got the date of April 2020. So I'd like to bring up on stage right now John Combs, our arts educator of 2020. Margaret Baldridge, the individual artist. For Cultural Vision, that was the Zootown Arts Community Center, Kia Lizak. Business support for the arts was Blackfoot Communications, Debbie Dantic. And finally, our cultural ambassador that year was Nancy Matthews, who sadly passed away in January. And her daughter, Elizabeth Johns, is with us tonight. So, Elizabeth Johns from Nancy Matthews. This year we honor five more people or businesses to this list. We'll start with the individual artist. First awarded in 2011, this is presented to someone who has shown exceptional achievement in either music, visual arts, dance, film, theater, or literature. This year we honor Joy French, dancer, choreographer, videographer, and producer, nominated by Beverly Dupree. Yeah. Not yet. No. Hold on a second. Joy's creative journey started on the stages of Missouri. Then she traveled for a year after high school with Up With People before landing in Missoula for undergraduate work. Her professional stage debut was with Motrans Dance Company under the direction of Amy Ragsdale. And Joy would go on to dance with Motrans and after its transition to Headwaters Dance Company, as well as Co-Motion Dance here in Missoula, Evolving Doors Dance in Boulder, Impact Dance Company in Fort Collins, and Better Biscuit Dance in Seattle. Wanting to pursue graduate studies in dance, Joy attended the University of Colorado in Boulder. Her passion for dance and film led her to create an original screen dance shorts, many selected for screenings at a dance festival there, as well as being hired for a feature dance film, Leading Ladies, which premiered at the Sonoma International Film Festival in 2010. From there, she toured Costa Rica, performing and teaching. The tour was sponsored by the Costa Rican North American Cultural Center, who selected Joy as a promising artist of the 21st century. After earning her MFA in Performance and Choreography, Joy returned to Missoula and founded Bear Bait Dance, which was housed at the Downtown Dance Collective. Joy created Bear Bait Dance to be a home for dancers in this region and to produce nationally and internationally acclaimed artists. In addition to Bear Bait, Joy is on the faculty of the University of Montana, has collaborated with the Montana Repertory Theater, teaches in Missoula's high schools through their Montana Model Dance Educator Program. Bear Bait has performed in several unconventional spaces, such as the Elks Club, UM's Par TV building, upstairs at the Union Hall, many private homes, and outdoors all over the city, such as Flanagan's parking lot, for instance. And now, the West Side Theater is the home to Bear Bait Dance for rehearsals and performances as the company takes over management of the theater. In 2017, Joy received the Artist Innovation Award from the Montana Arts Council in recognition of her devotion to her art and to the state. Bear Bait is now an independent 501c3 nonprofit with a permanent home at the West Side Theater, which she manages. Joy is also the executive director of Kinetoscope Film Festival, Montana's only dance film festival. In the words of Beverly Dupree, Joy has made significant contributions to the performing arts in Missoula. Her work is defined by bold exploration and always includes a valuable social context. In Joy's own words, I'm interested in making an intimate choreographic experiences for the audience. My works have ranged from the history of the American West to prison newspapers, from 1950s housewives to nautical explorations of the psyche, from our human obsession with the moon to recently grappling with the story of the pandemic. Wow. A dancer, instructor, choreographer, videographer, producer, and now a nonprofit arts director, Joy French. Come on up.
Thanks. Wow. Wow, it's so great to be honored in this way. And I want to thank Arts Missoula and also Beverly for nominating me. It's such an honor to be kind of acknowledged as an individual artist. I think when people think about an artist, they don't think of a dancer always, and how does that relate? And I even told our 4-year-old, I was getting this award, and he was like, "You're not an artist, you're a dancer." And I'm like, dang it, I haven't ingrained that yet. But I was thinking about that more, and about how often I feel like I don't think of myself as a solo unit, and I don't have something to sign, and I don't have something to sell in the same way that other artists do sometimes. Because I live in this ephemeral world of dance, and I'm in collaboration. So those are the two kind of things that really feel the most important to me, that it's not about signing something, it's not a physical object when you're in the performing arts and dance, and that I can't do it without those lovely people. And so I just want to take a moment to think about that a little bit, that it's more of a we and less of a me with this award. So some people to thank real fast, and then I'll move on. But it's really lovely to have the dancers here today, some of my dancers, both current and past. And the BBDers and the BBD dancers have been so important to me and helping me kind of hone my artistic voice and execute my choreographic vision. So thank you. I couldn't do it without you guys. It's really important. Thank you for the dancers. And then there's all kinds of designers and technicians that make this happen. And again, as a performing artist, we can't do it until we get it on stage often. And there's a ton of people that are involved with that, right? And so I just want to acknowledge that those people are helping manifest the final work when it comes to the kind of art I make. And so again, I can't do it without those people as well. And then I have the sounding boards outside of the studio who help my creative vision when it needs fresh eyes and ears and tears. And those people are super important to me as well that are at these tables. And then I have board and long-term supporters. And when it comes to the performing arts and the big A art of dance, I can't do my art unless I have supporters who are standing behind me and saying, we'll help keep the organization afloat for you so you can go make the art. So that feels really important too. So I really appreciate all those people. And lastly, this is the most obvious, is our audience. And I know every performing artist says that, but I think during the pandemic it became even more obvious to us about how the theater, the live theater and a live performance is really the vessel where dance thrives. And we really missed it, and it's so important, and I felt that as we come back. So I want to thank anyone who's come to any of the shows. You are truly the last part of the puzzle piece, and it's been so important to have us come back together, and I really thank you for coming back to the theater with us. It's been wonderful. So I just want to say thank you again. I feel so appreciated in being acknowledged as an individual artist within this collective art form. So thank you so much.
Arts Educator. This award was first awarded also in 2011, honors an outstanding educator of any age level who has devoted a career to teaching a craft and making a significant impact on this community. This year we honor Rob Tapper. Rob is professor of trombone and director of jazz studies at the University of Montana, as well as the director of the All-City Jazz program. And he's also a good musician in his own right. He's nominated by Marianne Albee, Bob Knight, and Kathy Capps. Now in his 10th year, Now in his 10th year at the University of Montana, Rob coordinates 3 big bands, 6 small groups, the undergraduate jazz study degrees, a trombone studio, as well as the annual Buddy DeFranco Jazz Festival. A native of Boston, Rob has degrees in music education from the University of New Hampshire and the Eastman School of Music. Before coming to UM, he was on the faculty at Eastern Washington University for 14 years, receiving a Washington State Teacher of the Year Award in 2008 and becoming a member of the Washington Music Educators Hall of Fame in 2012, where he was honored with a Spokane Arts Commission Contribution to Education Award. Since coming to UM, Rob has built upon the strong foundation of the Buddy DeFranco Jazz Festival that his predecessor Lance Boyd began. This event brings hundreds of middle and high school students from all over the Northwest and a combo of talented music educators and guest artists from all over the country for 2 days worth of performing, teaching, adjudicating, and, of course, the concerts. When the pandemic forced the cancellation of live performances, Rob coordinated the event virtually. Live streaming the performances, he expanded it to include groups all the way from Washington State to Maine. To help support the UM program, he coordinates the annual Jazz Holiday Swing in December, with performances featuring his UM students and guest music educators. An afternoon program called The Swing Set also brings in younger audiences. In addition to his university responsibilities, Rob provides many important performance opportunities for younger students. With Missoula High School band directors, he created the Montana All-State Weekend, which this year involved about 40 student musicians from around the state. His All-City Jazz program consists of several middle and high school musicians, and you have heard one of those groups today. He established the Summer Jazz Workshop and started the UM Jazz Camp for local musicians in 2021 with 55 young musicians attending. His passion for music and his dedication to his students is readily apparent to anyone. Additionally, he's a fine jazz and classical trombonist. He serves as the principal trombonist for the Missoula Symphony. He also regularly performs with local jazz musicians at various venues in town. He's a rare breed, an artist with a highly organized mind. He can read a spreadsheet as easily as a music score. And from my experience working with All-City Jazz, he's remarkably easy to work with. He connects with his students, is respectful of those who came before him, he builds new programs and expands existing ones. He epitomizes the word mentor, so it's very fitting that he's our 2022 arts educator. Rob Tapper.
Thank you so much. It's really an honor to be here. Just a couple of sidebars. One, if any of you, most of you are animal fans, right before I left, The Art of Racing in the Rain was on. So if I get teary-eyed, it's because of the golden retriever in that one. And it's just so wonderful being involved in music and so many different events over the course of the year through all the different organizations, and sitting here with the All City Kids and watching all of you come in and see so many familiar faces and so many people that have such an impact on what goes on in this city, in this community. It was so great to be like, oh, I haven't seen that person in so long. I haven't seen that person. It was just so wonderful. I'd like to thank Tom Benson and take this moment to congratulate him on his run here at Arts Missoula. Wish him the best on his new journey, whatever that may be. Thanks to all the Arts Missoula folks, the staff and the board for what they do in putting together this event to gather like-minded artists and community members who are passionate about the arts. It's an honor, real honor, to be part of the current and past award recipients, especially with that picture of John Combs. Someday. The award recipients over the years are really some of the people who make the Missoula arts community thrive, as you know, and everyone in this room knows. It doesn't take very long to feel the special support for the arts in this community, from dance to theater to visual arts, music, for everybody, for all ages, all abilities. It's not, in some cities you get to, and it's really kind of a closed situation, and here it's really, you can go anywhere at any level and do any kind of art you want. It's really beautiful. Real special thank you to Marianne Albee, Bob Knight, and Kathy Capps for putting together and shepherding, taking the time and energy to put this nomination. From the moment I arrived here in Missoula, Marianne and her husband Bob have invited me into their home and have supported me in literally all of my endeavors. They've become my Missoula parents, so it's really wonderful, so thank you so much. Thanks to all the folks at UM, the students, the faculty, administration, for their support and for allowing me to continue to work to be a better educator and better musician all the time. Also like to thank the many music educators in the community for always being open and never hesitating to take part in any of the events and projects we decide to take on, which are numerous. Just in terms of my history growing up outside of Boston, with the support of my parents, I was afforded many musical opportunities, such as youth groups, music lessons, camps, honor groups, all kinds of great things. And with that, I was able to become friends and socialize with some really fantastic young people. And these kind of opportunities are the things that help shape our youth. They solidify a work ethic, they develop values, they develop also hard work and what that means to practice and work at something, enhancing their leadership skills and understanding what that means and the mentorship part of that process, and then also then feeling what it feels like to get through something and do it really well. I'm glad I can help and be a small part of providing young musicians in this community some of these opportunities and that sense of pride. And finally, a real big thank you, just special thank you to Heather Adams. She's always a huge part of what I do, and Tom mentioned the University Buddy DeFranco Festival going online. She was behind that whole thing, creating a YouTube channel for all of our faculty and students with 40 different clips on there, getting these bands to come in from all across the country is really phenomenal. She's always there. She's always listening. She's always creating. She's always helping whatever project I'm doing. She's always helping it make it better. And congratulations to her on the new position. Arts Missoula and this community is in really good hands with her. So thank you so much for this award.
The Cultural Vision Award is to a person or organization that has developed a special project or program demonstrating unique artistic vision. This year, we honor Open Air, nominated by Addie Palin and April Worrell. Yeah. Open Air is a program of the Western Montana Creative Initiatives, which is a nonprofit founded in 2019 by Stoney Samso and Hadley Ferguson, with a deep belief that artists are critical to our community's vitality. Stoney and Hadley were inspired to integrate artists with diverse communities in Western Montana. This organization has a vision to strengthen the creative capacity of Western Montana and to foster dialogue and experiences that are culturally vibrant, healthy, and intellectually vigorous. Open Air is a place-based artist in residence program that connects artists from all disciplines and origins with culturally, historically, and ecologically significant locations through collaborative partnerships. With innovative opportunities available in places such as remote wilderness areas to historical sites closer to town, artists have the opportunity to draw inspiration from a regional community dedicated to preserving place, environment, and the arts. Open Air is in its 4th year of existence. By the end of this year, they will have provided unique residencies to almost 100 artists. They will have put $55,000 directly into artists' hands. They have provided over 60 community events featuring over 1,000 attendees, and they have mounted a total of 10 exhibitions featuring these artists. Open Air works collaboratively with many community partners to place artists at unique sites in Western Montana and to create new works of art inspired by the landscape and the culture of this region. Collaborative partners include the Moon Randolph Homestead, Home Resource, the Phillipsburg Arts Fund, the University of Montana Flathead Lake Biological Station, the Selway Bitterroot Frank Church Wilderness Area, and more. And here are some more. The Missoula Public Library, the Montana Natural History Center, and the old Rattlesnake Dam site. They invite and support artists from all across Montana and the United States and will welcome their first international artist from Norway this fall. Earlier this year, they were awarded a $100,000 grant from the National Endowment for the Arts American Rescue Plan and have now hired a second full-time staff member. Additionally, Open Air has established the Indigenous Advisory Committee, prioritizing Indigenous applicants. They are committed to fostering collaboration with rural and urban Indigenous artists and communities. And here are some more artists in their respective residencies. According to one of the nominators, April Whirl, this program stimulates vitality in our communities, supports others doing important work, and elevates the arts in Western Montana. Open Air epitomizes the idea of cultural vision, combining the natural landscape with creativity, events that engage the community, and a broad program involving visual art, music, dance, writing, historical and natural preservation, and cultural understanding. Executive Director Stoney Samso is unavailable to be here tonight as she and other members of their board are at a conference right now. But receiving this award is Addie Palin. Addie Palin, come on up on stage.
Well, when I submitted this nomination many months ago, I had no intention of also being the one to accept the award. It should really be our executive director, Stoney Samso, up here. She is our single staff member until the new NEA grant kicks in, and she is the engine that makes this organization appear to do the work of 5 people. And I know she wishes she could be in 2 places at once today. Alas, she is out at American Prairie Reserve with many of our board members, as Tom mentioned, exploring a potential new site partnership with them, which is very exciting. So I'll say a few words, but thank you, Tom, and the entire Arts Missoula organization. As a not-for-profit dedicated to placing artists from everywhere in our Western Montana communities, Open Air is so grateful to be supported by and given visibility by the advocacy efforts of this group. I'm joined today by my fellow artist board member, Carrie Richey. So I just wanted to give a shout out. We're representing while the rest of the team is traveling. And again, I know Stony wishes she could be here to accept the award. You said so many nice things about the program, but I will just reiterate again that Open Air was founded by Stony and local artist Hadley Ferguson in 2019. And it's incredibly rewarding to be recognized 3 short years later by the Missoula arts community via Arts Missoula today. So thank you so much for this honor.
Business support for the arts was first given out in 2004 and honors local businesses that have made significant contributions to Missoula's art and cultural organizations. This year, we honor Logjam Foundation, nominated by Kia Lizak and Sienna Solberg. First, it was the Top Hat, then the Wilma, then Kettle House Amphitheater, and on to Bozeman with the Elm and Rialto theaters, renovating landmark venues into state-of-the-art entertainment sites, or creating a landmark where none existed before. Logjam Presents has helped to turn Missoula into a cultural destination. Of course, the pandemic brought an abrupt halt to the entertainment industry worldwide, yet we hope that in time this is just going to be a blip on the screen. Overall, Logjam, led by Robin and Nick Chakota, has significantly changed the arts and cultural landscape in Missoula in a span of about 10 or 12 years. All the while, they have donated back to this community. Logjam has placed Missoula on the map for touring bands, preserving the historic Wilma building and adding the state-of-the-art Kettle House outdoor amphitheater in Bonner. Excluding the pandemic, they've been bringing nearly 500 performing artists to Missoula each year. With the success of these entertainment venues, Nick and Robin formed Logjam Foundation to reinvest entertainment dollars to help with local nonprofit organizations focusing on arts education, social and environmental responsibility, and voter engagement. Here are just some of the arts organizations that they have supported in the past. Spark Arts Ignite Learning. For many years, the foundation has supported the middle school programming of this Kennedy Center initiative. The ZAC. The foundation was critical to the success of the campaign to acquire its building and the necessary remodel. The Roxy Theater. The foundation was a major funder for the annex expansion. The Missoula Public Library. They provided funding to support an art room in their new building. They also have supported the Missoula Art Museum's Sculpture Park. Garden City Ballet, Tell Us Something, Big Sky Documentary Film Festival, International Wildlife Film Festival, Missoula Symphony Association, and Missoula County Public Schools music programs. And then there are some other groups that are non-arts focused that they've been supporting. The Montana Wilderness Association, the Missoula Food Bank, Sussex School, Free Cycles, the Blackfoot River Fund in partnership with Trout Unlimited, and a voter initiative called Amplify Montana. And I'm sure there are others. Yeah. Nick and Robin chaired the Zootown Arts Community Center's capital campaign and advised the ZAC board every step of the way in the building renovations and architectural design. They also contributed significantly to ZAC's capital campaign. They also provide significant support to ZAC's music programs for youth, including and allowing all bands to perform on the stage at the Top Hat. Says ZAC ED Kia Lizak, without them, the ZAC would not have realized its dream of expanding and moving downtown. Nick is a developer and a promoter, and thus he has a vested interest in the success of his projects, and that's one of the main reasons why his projects are successful. Robin is truly passionate about the arts and arts education. She's a former board member of Arts Missoula, and she's currently the chair of the Spark Board. In sum, Logjam is a great community partner, elevating Missoula's performing arts, presenting top-quality national acts, and giving back to the community. So for Logjam Foundation, Robin Chakota will be accepting the award. Robin.
Thank you. Thank you to Tom, and thanks to my friends at Arts Missoula, and thanks for the nomination. I love living in an arts-minded community, and that's exactly what Missoula is. And Rob spoke to this. I think that, I believe that our rich arts culture comes from you all here in this room. And it has a lot to do with the arts organizations that are here. For Spark, bringing more arts into our schools, for the ZAC, for building a community space for us all to share art together, for Arts Missoula, who brings us together to celebrate the importance of the arts, and many, many more. The Roxy, Bear Bait Dance, MAM, MCT, Open Air. It's because of all of you and many other organizations that are creating and presenting and curating and teaching the arts in our community. So thank you. We at Logjam Presents would like to thank our concert goers for their patronage, because in turn, then we can continue to support all these amazing and vital arts organizations in our community. Thank you.
Cultural Ambassador, given to an individual or couple who have supported Missoula's arts community or helped to advance cultural diplomacy through volunteer, administrative, philanthropic, professional, or legislative efforts. Originally called an award for cultural achievement, this was the first and it remains the premier award of Arts Missoula. This year we honor John Engen, the longest-serving mayor of Missoula, and someone who has always seen the community benefits of arts and cultural amenities. He was nominated by Susan Hay Patrick and Mike Halligan. John is a Missoula guy. He's always lived here, getting his schooling at Willard Grade School, Hellgate High School, and the University of Montana. He enjoyed a career in print journalism, was a partner in 2 small businesses, and served one term as a Missoula City Council member before being elected mayor in 2005. He's been our mayor ever since. John truly believes in, supports, and champions a strong and vibrant art scene. He sees the arts and cultural organizations not just as amenities or things that are nice to have in one's community, but they are essential. He understands the major contribution made by the arts to the quality of life of a healthy, thriving, prosperous community, as well as to one's personal well-being. John further understands the economic power of the arts, that arts and culture are vital components for our economic prosperity, directly fueling Missoula's overall economy. For years, John has given his time, energy, and financial support to local arts and culture. The organizations and events he has supported include First Night Missoula, and that's where I first met him, where he was board president. Very Special Arts Montana, he was also board president. Missoula Downtown Association, guess what? Board president. He was a member of the original community arts team of Spark, and he helped with the original program application to the Kennedy Center. He's a supportive protector of the city's public art program. He has supported the film industry coming to Missoula. And have you been to the courthouse lately? Such as Yellowstone. He supported the display of student art throughout City Hall. He has championed Soft Landing Missoula and the IRC, Early on, he supported Missoula hosting refugees and clearly spoke out on a national level about this being a good thing to do, even though it was politically dicey. He supported and participated in the Montana Book Festival, River City Roots, Tell Us Something, ZAC, and its purchase of the downtown location. And he has raised vast amounts of dollars for nonprofit causes by serving as a volunteer auctioneer. He was committed to the city being a partner in developing the art park with the MAM and Adventure Cycling. He cleared the way for the Rainbow Crossing at Pine and Patty Streets. And with the Missoula Art Museum, he has helped with its expansion remodel and has supported its budget item for building maintenance through the years, often fending off suggestions that he cut this from the line item of the budget. Says Laura Millen of the Missoula Art Museum, John is a true blue believer in art. He understands all the reasons that art and an art museum are good for our downtown and our economy. But the real reason he supports art is because it is good for the soul. John leads with his heart and soul, and we love him for it. Barb Nealon from Destination Missoula. John's support and love for this community is visible on a daily basis through all the openings and events that he personally attends. His support of the arts has pushed this community to a level no one expects from a town our size. We are all grateful for the leadership John has shown to elevate Missoula. Here he is giving the traditional Hongi Maori greeting to some of our friends from Palmerston North. I'll continue with testimonials from other public servants. Linda McCarthy from the Downtown Missoula Partnership. John's appreciation for the arts and culture, nonprofits and fundraisers, public parks and master planning have always been exceptional. He's a true champion for all things Missoula. Says Joe May Salonen of the Missoula Symphony Association. John has been a dedicated supporter of the Missoula Symphony Orchestra and Chorale for many years as a patron, family concert narrator, and rumor has it, Santa Claus. We're so grateful for his commitment to the arts in Missoula and particularly his love of music. Cultural exchange is a priority for John, seen here with international visitors from the Humphrey Fellowship, State Department, Wyseele Program, and Palmerston North Mayor Grant Smith and his wife Michelle. Several years ago, I started meeting with John regularly to discuss Missoula's transformation to an international city, with refugees settling here and international businesses moving to town. From those discussions, we developed a plan to create Arts Missoula Global and its program of teaching cultural competency classes by our own Udo Fluke, when you heard all the statistics earlier. That program is a result of John's vision, support, and desire to see it happen. We all know of his ability to make us laugh at his expense. He's a rare comedian who uses humor only to poke fun at himself, never someone else. Think of that as you look at Senator Tester's expression, as well as his attempt in joining in the haka before a rugby game. More testimonials. Mary Poole of Soft Landing, Missoula. I am always struck by John's gift in speaking, without notes. I realize now that his ease in speaking is due to the tremendous amount of time and love he puts into this city for us all. You don't need notes when it comes from the heart. Except I do. Says Kia Lizak from the ZAC. John has always taken the time to listen to my concerns and crazy ideas and nod his head in support. He's jumped in to help Zach numerous times when needed, whether it's being in a play written by kids, auctioneering at our events, or serving on a capital campaign. His advocacy and vision have helped Missoula become a center for the arts. Says Susan Hay Patrick, who nominated him, as Missoula's best-loved MC and auctioneer, John has donated hundreds of hours over many years to serving in these roles for our local arts, cultural, and nonprofit organizations. John Engen exemplifies the term cultural ambassador, enthusiastically championing the arts and culture of the hometown he leads and loves. Every now and then we need a hero, and John Engen has been our hero for the arts and culture in Missoula. And we all know of his health troubles right now, and he's unable to attend tonight. But Lucy Bigley is here to accept the award. Lucy?
Thank you. John is unfortunately unable to be here because the bad news is he's in the hospital, but the good news is he's getting out tomorrow, and we're treating this just as a reset. And when I walked in today, Tom said, "Oh, did John give you something to say?" And the answer is no, because he speaks off the cuff, and he does so eloquently. And this morning I said, "So could you give me a handful of talking points?" And he rattled off some talking points, and I didn't write them down. And then about 3 hours later, I thought, okay, I'm going to ask him again what his talking points are, and he rattled off another handful of talking points that were very different. So the common theme to his talking points was gratitude. That is what I can convey to you. And he has gratitude to Arts Missoula. He has gratitude to all of you. He has gratitude to the people who run the arts organizations in this town and have invited him to stand in front of your fantastic events and raise money and heckle people until they give until it hurts. And he has gratitude to this community that is able to support such a thriving arts community here. It is absolutely incredible, the fabric of this community. It's the arts here are second to none. And he's very grateful for this community. And he also said in both times, there was a common theme. He said the same thing twice, and that he has great gratitude to the support he has received from this community. Your collective support for him and your individual messages and calls and flowers and everything. He has I mean, if you're going to be sick, this is a darn good place to get sick. So thank you all for that, and let's hope that he's standing in front of you, heckling you for more money sooner rather than later. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. I want to now bring up our board president to say a few words, John Kalsbeek.
Hello. When I asked Tom if I could get up and say a few things, I didn't know I'd be following that. But it's so great to see everybody here. I mean, it's been so long, it seems like I haven't been in a room at 200 art supporters in a couple of years. We've had a few events, but nothing like this, and it's really energizing. It's really great to see everybody again. When I asked to say a few things, I was thinking about connections, personal connections, strings that connect us between people, and it turns out that everybody who's spoken tonight has already driven that home, so I'll just echo what's been said. We have this event to celebrate a handful of people in the community who are doing this great work to advocate for and nurture and financially support the arts in Missoula, and these people are our neighbors. They're from all walks of life, and they're everyday people. And I think it's a nice microcosm of what we have here. We have business owners and artists and politicians and public servants. I forgot to put my glasses on. And the commonality between all of these awardees is the same. It's shared with everybody in the room, actually. When we talk about the arts, sometimes it's a big kind of heady idea. It could be a nebulous word, nebulous idea. But I know that everybody here understands it as tangible and as vital to a healthy, cooperative, and empathetic community of people and to society at large, really. So when we come here to celebrate these awards, we're celebrating what makes Missoula authentic, and we're celebrating each other. Together, everybody here, all of you, all of us, are the arts. So thank you. I don't have a, with that, I don't have a very smooth segue into reminding you that there are envelopes on your table. As you know, this is Tom's very last awards ceremony that he's done for 18 years, or have we done it 18 times? Yeah, almost. Make a donation for Tom's 18 years, or for the exciting future for Arts Missoula, or any personal altruistic reason you have, we'll accept that. So let's bring Tom back up for his final remarks for the last time. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Before we leave, I do want to thank our sponsors again, and specifically Bitterroot Flower, who donated the flowers, and I'm told there are these bags on all the tables. So feel free to use the bags and leave the vase. That would be great. Thank you also to all City Jazz Band musicians. Thank you to the Arts Missoula board and staff. As John said, this is the last time that I'll be at the microphone in this capacity, and it's been a great ride. It's been a great ride working for the arts and culture sector for the past 25 years, 18 of them with Arts Missoula, 7 before that as a director of First Night Missoula. And I am really excited for the future of this organization with Heather Adams as our new ED, starting in a month. I spent some time thinking about what I would say right now, and I tried to think of a good pithy quote from some arts or cultural icon, and I kept coming back to the words of an unlikely candidate, Casey Stengel. Some of you remember who Casey Stengel was. If you don't remember who he was the longtime manager of the New York Yankees back in the 1950s when they were winning the World Series almost every year or losing the World Series almost every year, but they were there. The inspiration for the musical Damn Yankees came from that era. But Casey Stengel, even though he had really good people playing like Mickey Mantle and Joe DiMaggio and Yogi Berra, he was sort of seen as kind of a comical buffoon. I mean, he spoke in gibberish much of the time, and people didn't understand, why is this guy winning all the time? And finally, after winning the World Series for the umpteenth time, a reporter asked him, straight-faced, well, how is it that you keep winning the World Series? And he paused, looked the reporter in the eye and said, well, I couldn't have done it without the team. So you got it. And people have been saying that all night. People have been talking about how that Missoula is really a team. And I'm sure I never could have lasted this long in this position without the team. And the team consists of all of you. And it also consists of so many who aren't currently in this room. It may sound corny, but the team consists of anyone in Missoula who has interesting ideas to advance the arts, is passionate about the arts, is an artist, musician, writer, dancer, willingness to volunteer in some way, donate time, resources, and dollars. You've all made it really easy for me to love my job. And I want to thank all of you for this great ride. Thank you. And I really couldn't have lasted this long without the support of one person, the voice of morning classics on Montana Public Radio, Susan Israel. Well, thank you all for making it so rewarding to be working in this field for so long. And I appreciate your coming here tonight, and we'll see you all next time. Next year. Thanks so much.